Hello friends and welcome to another tutorial on Next.js series. In this tutorial we will talk about nested dynamic routes. Basically the dynamic routes inside the nested route. Let's take an example. Let's say you have an articles folder inside your app folder. In this articles folder you can have multiple folders with the name of the persons who have written those articles. Inside these folders we will have multiple articles written by those persons with the article ID. If you look at the folder structure, it is basically a nested routes where you have articles inside app and then you have the name of the persons who have written those articles and then you have the article IDs written by those persons. So let's try to make this as a dynamic route. To make this as a dynamic route, let's change the name of the persons who have written the articles to a dynamic slug. Let's remove the subsequent folder Mukesh and change the name of the Ramesh to a dynamic slug named written by. Let's also make the articles dynamic written by the particular person. For this, let's try to make the article IDs also dynamic written by a particular person. So let's remove the subsequent articles and change the article IDs to a dynamic slug named article ID. And this way we can achieve the nested dynamic routes. Let's see a practical example on the same. For this, let's try to create an articles folder inside our app folder. To access this articles page on the route, we should have a file named page.js inside it. And to have the dynamic route for the name of the persons who have written the articles, we need to have a folder name with the square brackets like this, square brackets, return by, and to also have the multiple articles written by a particular person, we need to have dynamic articles ID written by a particular person. Let's create a folder for that again, and here we will have a dynamic route which is gonna have the article ID. Let's try to access written by page. For this, let's create a page.tsx inside written by, and let's export our default React component. Okay, so let's try to return a div which says I was written by, and let's take the value of the writer from the params. Okay, so for TypeScript we will have this inside params with the name written by and the type is a string. That will resolve our TypeScript error. Okay, and let's try to take this value from params dot written by. Let's try to access. Okay, articles is not yet implemented. Let's copy this and paste this implementation in articles. I will have all the articles, and my name should be component name should be articles. Let's see what it shows. Okay, so it says I will have all articles. Okay, let's try to access with the name Shashank. Okay, it says I was written by Shashank. Let's change it to Ramesh. It says I was written by Ramesh, and let's change it to Vardhan, and it says I was written by Vardhan. So our dynamic route for written by is implemented. Let's implement the dynamic article ID page written by the particular persons. Let's add a page.tsx inside the article ID dynamic slug, where we will get this the params received by the article component. This component will receive both the params of the previous routes, the dynamic param of the written by and dynamic param of the article ID. Let's try to resolve the TypeScript errors. Uh, so we will have the object as params, and inside params we will have the object with key value, article ID and written by, and both of them are going to have string as their type. Let's try to access this nested dynamic routes implementation. Let's say the name is themed and the ID of the article is 3. It says the article with ID 3 is written by Athena. Let's change this to Vardhan, the ID number as 75 and the article with ID 75 is written by Vardhan. This is how you can implement nested dynamic routes in your application. In the upcoming video, we will talk about catch-all segments and file collocation, as well as in the later tutorials we will also talk about private folders. Thank you so much for taking time till the end of this video. I hope you have learned new things. Please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming update. See you in the next video.